What is it to be a man's man today?
Welcome, everyone. We'll get started in just a couple minutes. Give everyone some time to file in. Thank you for joining us. Welcome, everyone. Welcome back to another Leader Factor webinar. It's great to be with you again. It's been a good while since our last event, and we're happy to be back. Let's kick off by seeing where you're from. If you haven't already, please put your location in the chat. We truly have a global audience. If we look at all of the registrations, we look where everyone is, it's absolutely a pleasure to have people from so many different places. So please, if you wouldn't mind, go ahead and let us know where you're tuning in from. And thank you for spending an hour with us today. We appreciate your time. We appreciate your attention. And also let us know if you've joined a Leader Factor webinar in the past. It's always fun to see who's back for a second or a 27th time. Tim, thank you for being here.
Oh, good to be here, Junior. Thanks. This is going to be a great webinar.
Going to be a fantastic one. Okay. Additionally, we would love to hear one thing that you are grateful for today. So if you wouldn't mind, go ahead and put that in the chat as well. One thing that you are grateful for today. A few housekeeping notes. This webinar will be recorded. It will be put on YouTube, and it will be featured in an episode of the podcast Culture by Design. If you are not a subscriber of our podcast, we would invite you to go and do that. We've been having a lot of fun with that podcast, haven't we, Tim?
We sure have.
And
we've been doing episodes every week, haven't we?
We have, and it's also part of the reason that we've been on hiatus from the webinar world for a little while, is we focused on getting that podcast up and running as really a valuable resource for all of you, all of our listeners, all of the audience, all of those who are excited about psychological safety, interested in culture, and care about people. So today, we're going to be talking about hiring, firing, and promotion with psychological safety. Everyone in attendance today will be entered to win a signed copy of the book. We'll be doing a giveaway at the end of today's webinar. So if you haven't had a chance to read the book, or you want another copy, or you want a signed copy, hang around to the end. We'll be giving away a signed copy to someone in attendance at the end of the webinar. Let's go ahead and talk about our co-host today, as well as the agenda. If you have not met Dr. Clark, here he is today. Dr. Clark, Tim, thank you for being with us. Tim is the CEO and founder of Leader Factor. He's an Oxford-trained social scientist who's been doing research and instrument design, consulting, training in this space for several decades. He's the author of the book, The 4 Stages of Psychological Safety. And Tim, thank you for your time.
Yeah, good to be here, Junior. Thank you.
So today's agenda, we're going to be setting the stage for hiring, firing, and promotion. We got a lot of buzz about this topic prior to today's webinar. During the registration phase, people very interested, asking a lot of questions, interested in our perspective. Every organization has its own perspective, and we are fascinated by this topic and excited today to share with you some of our perspective, our paradigm, how we view the world, and how we look at this particular topic. So let's go ahead and kick off with a polling question. So I'm going to go ahead and launch this. If you're joining us in Zoom, you'll have the opportunity to do this here. If you're on LinkedIn or YouTube, Facebook, any other platform, please go ahead and just do this as a comment. But this is the first poll, the first question that we want to ask all of you. Are the selection criteria your organization uses for hiring, firing, and promotion primarily technical or cultural? So I'm going to go ahead and launch this poll, and we're going to monitor the comments as well. So we'll go ahead and show you this.
Yeah, this is such an important question, isn't it, Junior? Because I think, we don't want to bias the responses, but certainly technical factors come into play as well as cultural factors when we're making a decision to hire someone new or move someone out of the organization or promote them into a position of higher responsibility. So we'd really love to understand your context and the way that you come at these decisions, or the way that you perceive that your organization makes these decisions. There are certainly patterns in every organization. So we'd love to see what your experience is in your organization. So take a few seconds and just ponder this. So again, the question is, are the selection criteria your organization uses for these three decisions with respect to human capital, bringing people into the organization? So talent acquisition, moving people out of the organization deliberately, firing, and then promotion decisions, elevating people to new and different levels of leadership and responsibility. Are the selection criteria primarily technical or cultural? What do you see? What's your experience in your organization? So think about that. As you're thinking about that, I want you to also reflect on the fact that in most organizations, traditionally and historically, let's just take the promotion decision, right? One of those three, promoting people. Traditionally, the process or the pattern has been that we promote people on the strength of their performance as individual contributors. Now, if that's true, and that really has been the dominant pattern in the past, then we need to think about that, because the strength of your performance is based on technical criteria more than cultural criteria. Isn't that true?
It is. So it looks like a lot of the comments that we're getting are about technical.
Yeah.
And that's what we're seeing in the poll as well.
Overwhelmingly technical.
Overwhelmingly.
I think that was our hypothesis going in, Junior, but we wanted to confirm that hypothesis with everyone else. And so it really is overwhelmingly technical. That's the tradition. That's the pattern of the past. That's the way that we've made these decisions, at least primarily across organizations.
Okay. It looks like we're having some trouble getting everyone into the Zoom recording. So it looks like we're okay on the other platforms. So in order to get those other people into this session, I'm going to have to stop it and restart it to get those people in. So I'm going to go ahead and stop the session and then restart it. Please, if you're in Zoom, hop back in. And for those of you on another platform, stay tuned. We will be right back. Thank you.